And there we are. Hello and welcome to the Icon News stream, and today we are going to be playing Ace Attorney Investigations Collection, also known as Investigations 1. We are going to be playing the first game. Now, I want to stress this. I have played both of the Investigations games before. I did not finish the second one. I watched the rest on YouTube. I got bored by the second one, so I couldn't play it anymore. I literally almost fell asleep when playing it. However, we did get a remake today, not yesterday actually. And with this remake, I'm hoping that I was wrong when I played this as a wee old lad. And I'm just gonna go ahead and try and enjoy everything. And if I don't, I'm gonna say it. This isn't the best start, you know, for liking a game, because you have memories hating it, but nevertheless, new game. We are going with the HD art style, even though it looks absolutely horrendous. Like, I looked at the screenshots. Ace Attorney indeed. I looked at the screenshots of the game, and this looks absolutely horrendous. But the background looks really nice. So I'm going to play with HD just to look at the new backgrounds. Even though pixel art is better in every way. So yeah, we're playing HD. Episode 1. Let's play. Everything old is new for playing it. Oh, you get an achievement for playing with HD. They really want you playing it. March 14th, 1:16 AM. Question mark. I don't fucking know. Make sure to defend this round till you know what first I have. And it's the job of a prosecutor, after all. That may be true, but why? Why go this far? Sorry, maybe I wasn't clear enough, but a guilty verdict is all that matters to me. No matter the cost. I can't believe they killed Miles Edgeworth in the first case. It's him! Oh, guy! I'm a prodigy among prosecutors. Always have been, always will be. March 14th, 2:05 AM, Prosecutors Building, 12th floor, hallway. It's Chibi Miles Edgeworth, look at him go. Oh fuck, I need to do a Miles Edgeworth voice. British. Right. It's hard to believe that I've been away from my office for a whole month. I hope Detective Gumshoe has been keeping an eye on my office and keeping it clean. The door's unlocked. Detective Gumshoe? What's the smell? A very familiar... blood? They have animation. What the? What is the meaning of this? Freeze. I don't know. Who's that guy? Oh, okay, fair enough. Identify yourself. The fucking change from the actual good art and then this. Identify yourself. Shut up. You got some nerve committing murder in a prosecutor's office. Hey, that's my suit! Is that a threat? Let me make one thing very clear. What? No one gets away with committing murder in my office. No one. He got away, it's over. My name is Miles Edgeworth, and I work as a prosecutor in my local district. Little did I know that upon my return home after a month abroad, I would be thrusted into a multitude of cases and some very frantic and busy days. March 14th, 2:56 a.m. Why is it so fucking up? Goddamn. Hi, prosecutor's office. Room 1202. Jesus. Forensics. Fucking. All finished photographing the victim's body, sir. Very well. Please continue your investigation. Yes, sir. Miss Edgeworth, sir, are you okay, sir? Keep it down, detective. This is a crime scene. When I heard that murder take place in your office, I ran here right away. This is Dick Gumshoe. He's a detective at the local precinct. And the one day assigned to handle this murder case for the time being. You're looking a little pale, sir. Are you hurt? No, I'm perfectly fine. However... look what it did to your office. It's totally trashed. Oh my god, that's smooth. What the fuck? Why is it so smooth? I'll say, the culprit sullied my floor with dirt rather as well. No one gets away with tracking mud into my office. Whoa! Sounds like you're getting really burnt up about this whole thing. This crime was committed in my office, so it's my responsibility to solve it. That's like you, Mr. Edgeworth. Okay, time to do some investigating. Agreed. Our first course of action is to gather relevant facts and leads. We must not overlook anything, no matter how small, if we are to find the truth. So keep any leads or information we find etched in the forefront of my mind. Speaking of things that pique my curiosity, why of all places did the murder occur in my office? Get the nagging feeling that this is something important to keep in mind. Yeah, I was wondering that myself, sir. I mean, you can't really say it's just a coincidence, can you? No, not really. Especially because of this. The key to your office? What do you mean, sir? If you think about it carefully and use logic... I fucking hate this writing. It's come back to me. Oh. Okay, so this game is all about logic, because in the Ace Attorney universe, or at least in this part of the universe, absolutely no one has a functioning brain besides Miles Edgeworth. Logic is a superpower, because no one else has it. It should become clear to you. Logic? What's that? Never used that in my life, sir. By finding the connection between two pieces of information, and connecting them, new information is born. That is the end result of losing logic. I hate this writing. Motherfucker just explained logic to a detective. That's crazy. How do you use it? I didn't read that line. How do you use logic, sir? How does it work? First, the information we've gathered with... and then I connect them together with... Now to use Q and recall the facts. The crime scene, my office, plus the office key. If we connect those two pieces of evidence. For security reasons, all prosecutors' doors are outfitted with locks. Which means it would have been hard for the murderer and the victim to get in here. Ergo, it's impossible to dismiss the location of this crime as mere coincidence. Yes, this ain't I was a victim, sir. But I didn't have to do a stupid-ass minigame in my head, sir. There must be a reason why someone infiltrated my room. What was the killer after? You're really on the ball today, Mr. Edgeworth. Thanks for that beautiful logic, sir. Yes, well, when you follow leads to the conclusion, only the truth remains. However, if the information doesn't line up properly, I may have to stray away from the truth as well. But if I think carefully before piecing leads together, the logic should flow. Well, let's get started with our investigation, shall we? Yes, sir! Hi, prosecutor's office. Room 1202. The basis of a good investigation is to examine everything, sir. I know that. And when I want to examine something, I simply use space. Well, I'm next to it.
Oh, and if you ever feel lost and want to talk, use T, okay? Oh, yeah, I'll give you great research advice as an ace investigator, sir.
So I can try later if I have free time, I suppose. The arrow keys, okay, there you go. They finished photographing the body, so it should be alright to examine this area. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. For this. What do we have here?
Hey, I think I've seen one of these before.
It's a police badge, detective.
Oh, hey, I have the exact same thing, actually. What a coincidence.
I hate the writing of Gumshoe. it's so bad. It's gotten worse. Oh, it's only gotten worse since the first game, anyway. Let's take a look inside. Mr. Buddy Faith. It would appear that our victim was a detective, just like you. Move, there you go. Let's see here. There's blood all over his lower abdominal area.
It looked like a bullet passed clean through the stomach area, sir.
In other words, he was shot.
Yep. Until the autopsy is done, I don't think we'll know much more than that.
Please, have the body sent to the morgue once they're done processing the crime scene.
Are you gonna be okay with keeping track of all the evidence as we find, sir?
Of course. It's the safest way I know to tackle it all.
Alright, if you say so.
I keep all the evidence I find either in or in my organizer. When I want to re-examine a piece, I just have to press E and open my organizer. But the organizer isn't only for evidence, I keep people's profiles on hand too. It's probably a good idea to make a habit of checking the facts often. Thanks, Edgeworth. Okay, so hand? Nope. Org.
Your files are all over the floor, sir.
They probably fell during a struggle between the victim and his killer.
I tried so hard to keep this place spotless while you were away. I mean, I just read all the time and effort I put in points.
I don't recall ever asking you to clean my room.
I water the flowers every day, just like you requested, sir. I just added cleaning to the list as a weekend special. About half a day every Saturday, I come in and clean the space until it's back.
Does he have a life? I still don't understand why Gumshoe is so goddamn, like, why Edgeworth is so goddamn mean to Gumshoe. Like, started in TNT, and it never got any goddamn better.
I don't believe it, I packed those files in the shelf so tight. And not even an earthquake could make them fall off. Just look at them. At this rate, the rest of the files won't even be able to withstand an earthquake at all.
A problem to be sure. Well, once the investigation is over, we'll put them back up on the shelf. Are we not talking about the clear letters there? Gum? That's gum. That's gum. We are ignoring that. Okay. Z. This control. This. What the fuck? Oh, nope. Okay. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, so, this is made for not a German keyboard. And so when it says Z to go back, it's actually Y on my keyboard, which is awesome. I love that. Gun. What have we here? Could this perhaps be the murder weapon? If so, it would be that the killer made their escape after disposing of their gun here.
I think I've seen one of these before.
Care to enlighten me as to where?
Ah, I know. I was in the exact same model. I think.
Detective. I don't recall.
I don't really like guns that much. I mean, they're really dangerous. But now that I think about it, you do see this model around the precinct a lot. I don't use mine much except in emergency, so that's why I didn't recognize it.
So it's the same type of revolver as the ones used by the precinct's detective. I seem to have gathered a few pieces of important information. Now, to calmly lose some logic. If this is actually how you think, your entire life, I will actually kill you. Anyways, it's pretty obvious what type of information we have to combine. It is, in fact, the revolver, and that the victim was a detective, because it's the same model as the detective used. The revolver, the standard model used by the detectives. Could it have belonged to our recently departed? Detective Gumshoe, could you please thoroughly check the victim's body one more time?
Yes, sir! On it now, sir! Excuse me, pal, let's see. What have we got here? Mr. Edgeworth, sir. This guy's wearing a gun holster.
So it appears our killer somehow managed to take the victim's gun from him. Let's see what else we can find out about this revolver.
As I always say, you gotta look real carefully at each piece of evidence. You can use to rotate an object. There's no such thing as a bad angle. Use zoom in and out, and you'll get the nitty-gritty.
Okay, so there's okay, I guess I'm looking at that. Okay, sure. To think it's so easy to take a life with just a pull of a trigger.
You know, I can't ever see myself liking guns. Oh, but I love the ones they use at the track and field meets and start races. You take it off before it's fired, everyone ends up following your lead.
To chase you down for a false start, detective.
Now that you mention it, you never flinch at first. I always wind up in the last place.
It looks like only one round was fired from this.
Well, so the killer killed the victim with just one shot after wrestling a gun from him?
Sounds like the guy knew how to handle a gun, huh?
Sounds like the guy knew how to handle a gun, huh, Mr. Edgeworth?
We have no proof for now, but that is a distinct possibility. I guess this is about all we're going to find out. We should send the body to you. Jim! Oh why, how could this have happened to a guy like you? Are you alright? Don't touch me! Leave me alone! Just let me be! Sorry, I can't do that. The investigation is still ongoing, so please refrain from touching the body. The body? The body? Don't talk about him like some lump of flesh. Look at him. Jim looks like he's just turned in for the night.
Sure. It's just a blood-stained suit, pal.
Where are my manners? Aren't you that prosecutor? Why, yes, I am. I am Jacques Portsman, prosecutor. Jim here was my partner in crime busting. I'm Miles Edgeworth, and like you, I am also a prosecutor.
Detective Dick Gumshoe, sir.
So you're Miles Edgeworth. I guess this is your office. Yes, that is correct. Then it was you! You're the one who killed Jim!
Hey, don't go around jumping to conclusions, pal. Just calm down, okay?
I will not! I know how things work around here. Prosecutor's office doors all have locks built into them. And only the owner of the office has the key to his or her own office. That is correct. Right. However, I was not the one who killed your partner.
Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth has been overseas on a business trip the whole time, pal. And the key to the door was with me the entire time, okay? So the only one who could get in here was me. Wait, that means... I'm not sure what that means.
It was you then! You're Jim's killer!
No, wait, pal, you got it all wrong.
Everyone calm down. Mr. Portsman, correct? If you're a real prosecutor, you should know to stay collected. The investigation has only just begun. It's too early to be drawing conclusions. Alright, I get the point. You're right, my mistake. I tend to get a little hot-headed sometimes. I'm sure you're one cool customer though, Mr. Edgeworth. I feel like I've heard that line before. I've heard all the rumors about you. You're a great genius prosecutor. You're something of a legend, you know. Anyway, let's call it truce and work together, okay? Now, how about a handshake to seal the deal? A pleasure to work with you. You guys were conducting your investigations, right? Sorry for barging in like that. Carry on then. It's your room after all. Thank you. I intend to. I just want a little more time to say goodbye to Jim. You there?
Sit!
I want you to capture this sense of... this scene on film for me. My final farewell to my partner, Jim. I should probably give them some space. That gunshot. No, hold on a sec. I already figured it out. I figured out something.
Ah! Your jacket! What's it doing on the floor?
It must have fallen off the wall when the killer tried to threaten me by firing around.
So the killer not only shot the victim, but they shot your jacket as well? They dared to shoot the older special jacket that you made your prosecutorial debut in? What if they had shot through it? It would have been a disaster.
It's not worth getting worked up over, Detective. Not when there's something more here.
Huh? Like what?
I take it you haven't noticed it yet, Detective. There is a giant contradiction here right in front of us.
Really?
Did I say contradiction? He must be rubbing off on me. I'm starting to sound like him. But I have my own methods and I will conduct this investigation my way. When the scene before me contradicts a piece of evidence or seems off, that's when my deductive skills come into play. First, I have to find a spot that holds a contradiction. Well, that would be here. This is it. The bullet hole is where the contradiction lies. Now, when I spot something that's off, I should point my cursor and press T with conviction. And when I have found sufficient proof and prove a contradiction, I present it. This is how I do things. Well, obviously the revolver. Right. How do I present that? T. Eureka! Eureka. I forgot that. This bullet hole is a contradiction.
What do you mean, sir?
It's elementary. 2 shots were fired in this room. The first felled the victim. And the second felled this frame.
Hey, that's right.
However, this gun was only fired once.
Hey, that's true too.
Which means that one of these 2 bullets was fired from a different gun. Did the killer have another gun prepared for tonight?
By the way, I know there's something, sir.
Yes.
What's that thing sticking out from behind that frame?
Oh, that's a secret safe.
A secret safe? A wash, bill, money.
Well, spare us the trouble and just say it. Nothing like what you're imagining is inside. Now, if you could kindly move the frame out of the way.
Roger that. Talk about being dusty.
I suppose that's what happens when I'm not here to dust it every once in a while.
I had no idea it was a safe there. I'd have kept it clean for you, sir. So, when did you put his finger?
It wasn't something I had to install personally. Every prosecutor's office has one.
Really? I had no idea.
Well, only prosecutors are supposed to have the knowledge of their existence.
So, what's inside, Mr. Edgeworth?
Right now, nothing. They only use them to store especially important evidence when a trial is in session.
That's it? Talk about squashing my hopes and dreams.
I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious nook and cranny. Of your own lock? Okay. I got a Discord, DM. Hold on. Nothing important. That's crazy. Obviously, it's been used because dust is away on that spot. Oh, this is odd.
You found something, sir?
This keypad. Don't you find it a bit too clean?
Yeah, there's a thick layer of dust all around it, but not on the keypad itself.
You there, you forensic scientist.
Yes, sir.
Would you please dust this area for fingerprints?
You got it, sir. I couldn't find, let alone lift, a single print. Looks like it was wiped down with.
As I thought, it appears that lots. Shut the fuck up, Edgeworth. Shut the fuck up. I'm too rationally and calmly playing to connect the dots. Gosh, kill yourself. No. Hey. Okay. Anyways, killer's goal. Why was the killer in my office? Well, for you see, there is a fingerprints on the safe, so that was probably it. Connect. I believe I have figured out what the murder was after.
What is it, sir?
The fact that the safe was wiped clean of fingerprints suggests that the criminal had at least attempted to open my safe, making the culprit's motive for breaking in and entering theft, I believe. I wonder if knowing that motive behind this break-in was theft changes what other pieces of information can tell me about this crime. Perhaps, then. Okay, so motive theft. Why would he have 2 handguns? If the motive was theft, and there were 2 guns, no. Files are a mess, pointing to a struggle between... Oh, if the files are a mess, then if the motive was theft, perhaps they were looking for through the files to find the thing they were trying to get. There we go. There is a possibility that the files sprawled on the floor are not the result of a struggle between the victim and his killer.
Does mean like they could be from when a killer tried to find something, sir?
Precisely. I need to figure out if there any of the files have been stolen.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna shelf these files like you've never seen before, even a library.
Oh, sure. Let's give it a try. Why do all good ones have to die young? Surely you must ponder that every once in a while, Mr. Edgeworth. No matter how much we lament, the dead will not come back to life. All we can do is search for the truth. And so, what are we supposed to do? How do you go about finding the truth? First, we can only restore the files to the rightful place. You got it! Here, let me help.
So this file goes here, and that book goes there.
You sure know where do things go, despite it being Mr. Edgeworth's office?
Because I'm the one who keeps it tidy, pal. Okay, done.
It would appear that the murder was definitely committed here.
Plus, stains on the bookshelf are still fresh.
I suspect that the victim was killed in the standing position, hence the prints being on the shelf.
And then the guy fell on the floor, right? The blood on the floor is kind of grossing me out.
Detective, I don't have the time to deal with your weak stomach right now.
But you know I'm all good with blood, sir.
I'm certain there's more wrong with this picture. Well, again, there is something written there, but we don't want to point that out for some reason. What do you mean the deuce? I'm gonna examine first. The victim's
handprints.
He must have tried to support himself while his hands were here after being shot.
There are prints on the floor too.
Those must have been made when he was unable to stay standing. He dropped to the floor. Okay, so that was... Okay, no, that was just all of the prints. Okay, blood. It appears that the victim was in a sitting position here after being shot.
Oh, so that's where the seat of the victim's pants has blood on it.
That would be the logical conclusion. Why is there blood here, though?
I put them all back just as they should be, sir. Don't look like anything's missing.
Although it does look like the killer moved the body, flipped through my shelves. I wonder if they found what they were looking for. Yeah, the blood. Wait, hold on. Why is the bullet down there? Fair enough, okay.
So this is where the bullet lodged itself after it went for the victim, huh?
For the bullet to be lodged so squarely in a file spine indicates that the files were ransacked after shooting had occurred.
Then I guess the victim was moved because he was in the killer's way.
Well, that is obviously the wrong thing because he was standing. Yes, he was standing. Where do I put that? Bullet went clean through the body. The body was found around. He was How do I present the fact that he was standing and it couldn't have been done there? It shows that I'm a prosecutor. Body faith. The detective in this precinct and the victim. Why was he killed in my office? Homicide detective at the local precinct in charge of the initial investigation. A high prosecutor with this prosecutor's office. It's the first time speaking to him. Well, I don't fucking know. It's clearly the thing standing out. It should be this because he was standing, but it doesn't say that. So I'm just gonna look at this guy. The killer moved the body because it was leaning against the bookshelf.
The blood on this guy's pants proves that pretty well.
In a sense, I suppose.
See, I'm not completely useless, Mr. Edgeworth.
Okay, that did not tell me nothing. I know the problem. Okay, I guess I have to present the crime scene notes. I'm going to present the crime scene notes.
Eureka!
There's clearly a contradiction here with this bullet hole.
What do you mean, sir?
You don't see. Okay, it was the correct thing, but why didn't it update to say that he was that? Anyway. Quite simply, the bullet hole itself is too low. If the victim was shot in the stomach, the bullet hole should be much higher up.
But what if the guy was shot while he was sitting or lying down, sir?
That would be illogical. The victim leaned against the shelf right here after being shot, which suggests that he was standing there when he was shot.
That means... Wait, what does that mean?
It means you need to use your brain every once in a while instead of mine, detective. In any case, it means someone made a faulty assumption. That it was from this mistake that our current contradiction was born. What is the faulty assumption that caused this problem with the bullet hole's position? The order of the files. I believe the order of the files is a bit off.
You mean I put them back in the wrong order just now? Hey, actually, I think the labels on the files are wrong, sir.
Oh?
Yeah. You see how the files that were shot to begin with are number 0? What are those doing all the way down there after 1, 2, and 3? That's really weird.
Actually, the way they are organized now is the correct order. They are exactly as I found them in my mind's eye.
But the numbers are all out of order.
Those white blinders are special, so they are arranged a little differently. But from this, we know that the files were not in the order when the crime occurred. Aha, so that's it. I believe the killer made them the same incorrect assumption as you just did, Detective. Let's rearrange the files in a numerical order and see what we find out.
You think it'd be okay to prop the body back up to how it was before it was moved?
They finished processing the crime scene, so I don't see why it wouldn't be. If you please, Detective Gumshoe. As I suspected, the bullet hole is now where it should logically be. The killer went through my files first before shooting Mr. Faith. And then he put the files back in numerical order, I guess. Exactly, and then proceeded to shoot the victim. But what?
But why would someone kill a man and look through the files just one more time?
Puzzling indeed. The files were thrown into disarray twice. Once before and once after the crime. Why? Now the crime scene is what was the time of the murder. Time to give it another look. May I point out the obvious? This.
What is that? What does it say? Gumshoe in the blood!
I'd say that's some incredibly incriminating evidence. Yes. Indicative of criminal activity indeed.
No, wait! There's gotta be some mistake! Miss Edgeworth, sir! Help me say something, sir!
It appears that one of my files was stolen.
Is that all, sir? What about me and my situation?
Is that what the killer was really after? Looks like Jim was able to leave us with the name of the killer in the end. And this most important message managed to reach us.
I'm telling you, it wasn't me!
You can be terribly pleased to hear that your beloved partner is the guilty party. You're going to accuse Detective Gumshoe of being the culprit. I sincerely hope you have some proof to back it up. Jim's words, they're more than enough, wouldn't you say? If that's how you want to play it, then at least allow me to understand your reasoning. You got it! I don't like this one bit. Something strange about this man's attitude. And there must be some sort of flaw to his logic waiting for me to dig out.
Miss Edgeworth, what are you going to do?
What I always do in court. I'm going to cross-examine him. One way or another, I'll expose the flaw in his logic with this technique.
How do you do that? Can you explain it to me, sir?
Maybe some other time. I'm not doing it. Mr. Portsman, if you're ready.
Oh, you don't have time. You could just say that, sir.
Mr. Portsman's logic. Detective Gumshoe, you stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead. Furthermore, you messed up the files to make it look like you had committed the theft instead. That's why you removed Jim's body, and that's why he's sitting in front of a bookshelf. But thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding. And it will be his final words that you will be brought to justice. You intend to argue that the victim's dying message points to this killer. I hear Jim's voice and he's calling for his killer's arrest. Are you sure you're not mishearing his words, Mr. Portman? There's no way Detective Gumshoe is the culprit here. I will find the flaw in this man's logic and expose it with credible evidence. Mr. Portman's logic. Now, obviously, he didn't make it look like, why doesn't it skip? That's when you move Jin's body. Why doesn't it skip? But thanks to that, you didn't know. Anyway, go back one. Go back. Why doesn't it go back? Well, I hate this. What is this control scheme? Oh, you have to press space and that. Okay. This control scheme sucks ass. That's crazy. Okay, that's when you move Jin's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. I'm guessing I'm press... Yes, okay. Okay, now I get it. But thanks to that, you didn't notice it. Oh my fucking god, I can't skip it. You had committed theft instead, but there is something stolen, so I'm gonna press.
Hold it!
You really think it was necessary to dishevel my shelves twice to do that? That's true. Okay, then maybe his real intent was theft.
Hey, are you accusing me of stealing something from Mr. Edgeworth?
There's possibility. Maybe our salary's been cut so much that life is getting a little too rough to handle.
I'll have you know that I'll eat 3 square meals every day, pal. Okay, so all 3 of them happen to be instant rules, but...
Poor thing. What an evil prosecutor you were paired up with. What a motive, no? I mean, it was theft. Yeah, clearly. That thing is gone. Hold on, let me take a gander through the evidence. So, what I have right now is crime scene notes. He was shot in a standing position. 1 bullet was fired. The secret safe was used and stolen by the culprit. One of the files was written. One of the files was stolen by the culprit. I'm gonna just go through. Actually, there's a gigantic flaw in his logic. A gap so wide that even a good detective can spot it. Now to clue Mr. Portman in by presenting him with some evidence. I'm stupid. Stole Jim's gun and shot him dead. But that's not right. Because the gun that the detective had shot the painting. But I can't just... No, not the painting. Shot the suit thing. I can't just present that. I guess I will present that. The revolver.
Objection!
It did not, in fact... God. I know exactly what happened. I just don't know how to tell him that. You stole Jim's gun. Further, you messed up the files to make it look like you had committed theft instead. That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. But thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters that were hiding behind him. That doesn't make sense.
Hold it!
Why do you think the killer didn't notice the bloody letters? The body was covering it quite well, wouldn't you say? That's how he missed it. But judging by what I've seen, it doesn't take much for your detective to miss something.
Why do you think you are? You know nothing about me, pal.
There's a lot a person can understand about another from the first impressions alone. Can't disagree with him on that point.
Why don't you say something, sir? Aren't you too, Mr. Edgeworth?
Despite his lack of attention to detail, I don't believe the detective to be a culprit. Nobody could have overlooked the bloody letters, and I can prove it with evidence. I couldn't ask for a better setup for a game-finishing spike. Nobody could have overlooked the bloody letters. Why? I guess that is the issue then. Why though? Oh, because it was stolen. Ah, fair enough.
Objection!
Perhaps you're not aware, Mr. Portsman, but there's a serious flaw in your logic. Bringing a bit of courtroom into this, I see. No problem, I'm game. Can't help but find it odd. Excuse me? Odd that a fellow prosecutor would be brought down by the power of his own office. What are you talking about? Oh, you're joking, I get it. If you have time to laugh, then you have time to take another closer look at this. You still not see? If not, may I direct your attention to the missing file? What? That's impossible! What's impossible, Mr. Portsman? Nothing. The files on that shelves are all about a certain case. When the killer went to take the file after murdering your partner, I highly doubt they could have missed the bloody letters writing on the spine. It's possible that they could have taken the file before committing the murder. I think it's pretty obvious that the file was stolen after it was written on. The missing letters and the detective's name were on the file should be his proof.
Yeah, I mean, the S is gone and all that's half an A. H.
If Detective Gumshoe really was the culprit in this case, I highly doubt that even he could overlook his own name written in blood on the files, especially as a detective who can't stand the sight of blood.
Which means, what exactly? What does that make? This dying message?
It makes it a work of your criminal intent of tampering with the crime scene.
That's so low, I can't believe the criminal tried to pin his whole thing on me, sir. I'm gonna get him, sir. You'll see. I'm gonna have him under arrest in no time.
Well, Mr. Postman. Brilliant! Absolutely splendid! Logic deserving of an Olympic gold! I appreciate the praise, but it doesn't change the fact that your reasoning is flawed. You win some, you lose some. That's how life goes.
Glad everyone's cheering, even though I feel more dead than alive.
But you know, it really is a shame. I really didn't want to have to bring this up, however.
Hey, what is it this time? You still after me, pal?
Humor me for a second. Who has the key to this office?
That would be me. That is actually just proof that I'm innocent, pal.
That's absolutely right, and I acknowledge your innocence. And why do I sense that you still have something to say? Well, I was thinking, did you know there's one other person with a key to this office? One other person? Hey, you there?
Yes, sir. What's it, sir?
Would you be so kind to fetch and escort that lovely young lady for me? A lady? The girl is a member of this building's security. Think of her as a material witness.
Security? You say security? No, stop it, pal, don't!
What's wrong with him all of a sudden? I believe she needs no introduction. I have called upon Miss Maggie Bird, a member of security. Detective Gumshoe, sir.
Maggie!
Miss Bird is a security guard on watch tonight. I see, and your point is? My point is that she could very well have used it. And by it, I mean the master key, which can open all of the office doors in the building.
What?
If you're not guilty party, Detective Gumshoe, then the only other person with access to this room is Miss Bird.
How dare you! I never sneaked someone in this room. That's right. I refuse to believe that Maggie is the culprit, pal. It was me. That's right. I did it.
Can we take that as a confession, Detective?
Well, it wasn't really me. But it definitely wasn't Maggie, pal. So yeah, it was me. It was you had no problems with that, right?
Please refrain from flying off the handle, Detective. There's no need for such theatrics. Listen to your boss, Detective. He understands what I'm saying here. That girl is the only one who could have committed the crime, and for one simple reason. Reason for suspicion. It's pretty obvious that Miss Burke snuck into your room using the master key. I mean, if Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door, then that leaves only Miss Bird as the prime suspect. On top of which she knows our good detective, doesn't she? Making it all is more probable that she was the one who faked the dying message. So you're saying she used the master key? Incredibly incriminating evidence, wouldn't you say? That's what you claimed about the evidence earlier as well. That was then, this is now. The flow of a good match always changes during a rally. It's all about your reflexes and reaction time, especially for an athlete like me. I wonder if there's anyone else other than Mrs. Bird who could have used the master key. Seems that the only way to get Mr. Portsman to give up is to press him. It's pretty obvious.
Hold it!
Are you sure Miss Bird is the only member of security who could have gotten the master key? There's one person on the staff at the time of night, and tonight she is it. Isn't that right, Miss Bird?
That's, true, but I wasn't able to use the master key at the time of the crime, sir!
Wasn't able to? What's that supposed to mean? Yes, moving on. I tend to get sidetracked by something unrelated.
What do you mean unrelated? I want to hear what she has to say, pal.
But you can't really trust her not to tell lies. Plus, I hate wasting time. Should I hear Miss Bird out?
Of course, obviously.
Not so fast. I too am interested in hearing what Miss Bird has to say. Didn't I just say it'd be a waste of time? We don't need to hear her lies. I'll be the judge of that, Miss Bird, if you please.
I discovered that the master key was missing at around 1 AM, sir.
What do you mean by missing?
It wasn't anywhere in the security booth, sir. The killer must have stolen it.
Mr. Postman, I believe this to be an important piece of testimony, don't you? Oh, I can't believe someone like you would be taken by such words.
I'm not lying, sir.
Objection!
If that's the case, then I'd like to know why you have the master key now.
I don't quite know. It just reappeared all of a sudden, sir.
Ah, a likely story. And where's the proof that the key was stolen to begin with? I bet you just forgot where you put it and then found it again.
I never lose face. I can practically guarantee that. With me, something disappears usually because someone stole it.
Yeah, pal. Trust me, you don't want to test that. How just a bad luck it is.
Unfortunately, I can't deem this piece of testimony as conclusive. Glad you agree, Mr. Edgeworth.
But you haven't established an actual motive for breaking into Mr. Edgeworth's office.
A motive? Didn't we already establish that it was theft? I mean, the culprit killer went through the bookshelves and at least tried to safe. It is, as Mr. Postman said, Detective. Can't ignore the fact that all this evidence points towards a motive of theft. But I'm done taking blows. It's time to counterattack with a few facts of my own. Her intent, from the messed up shelves, right down I'd say it's thievery. I mean, if Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door, then that leaves only Maggie Bird as our prime suspect. Don't you think it's a bit early to be jumping to conclusions? Are you saying there's another way to open the door other than with the master key? Oh, I get it. Perhaps you had a spare made for someone else. I'll have you know, I've never met a spare. So what are you insinuating? Nothing! I guess I should have known better than to suggest something like you would. Curious. I don't fucking know. Pretty obvious that using the master key. And now I'm guessing that the master key was something. Okay, this can open every office door was stolen from the security office. Well, it isn't conclusive, as Mr. Edgeworth has pointed out, so I'm guessing I can look at it and it will give me information. This is the master key to every office in the building. Thank you for your insight, Edgeworth. Glad to have you on board. That's it? Really? Okay. Why is there like a tag on it? That's just empty. That doesn't make any sense. Why was I able to look at this? Anyways, get me out of here. So, she went inside. Based on his testimony, she went inside with the master key. Based on her testimony, it was stolen at the time. Curious George. Content from messed up shelves. I'd say it is thievery. But why was she there with another guy? Your guy. Cause he... Hold on. And leaves only Maggie Bird as our prime sub. Now, hold on. It's pretty obvious that she snuck into the room using the master key. But then how did he get in here? I'm not confident enough to press it. to present them. But how did he get in here then? I can't actually present them. You can't present profiles. But how did he get in here? If she was the one going in. Why would they work together? That's pretty curious.
Hold it!
I concur that the culprit's motive appears to have been thievery. However, glad to hear that you agree, Miles Edgeworth. In agreement with little old me. However, with regard of the investigation on the bookshelves and safe. Hey, good thinking asking for my opinion on the matter. Would it be too much for you to allow me to complete a full sentence? Yes!
Hold it!
I thought we had established Detective Gumshoe's innocence pretty thoroughly. It was just a theory, one hypothesis among many possibilities. I mean, I had my doubts about Miss Burr from the very beginning. If that's the case, then why didn't you mention her first? No, don't make that face, see? There goes the truth running our other way. Let's pick up the pace and see where we'll catch up to it. I don't think you're catching my drift. Ah, but you're in agreement that the detective isn't the killer, right? If so, then I hope you understand when I say... that since she is the only other person who could have opened the office door, that leaves Maggie Bird as our prime suspect.
Hold it!
Is there anyone in this district who hasn't at least heard of Detective Gumshoe? Good point! He's practically a celebrity among us prosecutors.
Really? I never knew I was so talked about. What's that?
We're holding our collective breath, you know? For when you screw up so badly that you're literally chased off by the force.
What? What is this true, Mr. Edgeworth?
Of course not. That's hogwash.
Phew, don't scare me like that. I almost had a heart attack today.
Making it all the more probable that she was the only one who faked the dying message. By dying message, you mean the bloody letters and the spell out Gumshoe. I figured that whoever wrote his name must have wanted to frame him. And just the act of choosing his name is proof enough that the two knew each other well.
Mr. Edgeworth, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and present some evidence.
I would love to, but first we should listen a bit more and digest what he is saying, and press him for more information. I have pressed every statement. So I'm guessing that I don't get it.
Hold it!
Are you sure Miss Bird is the only member of security who could have used the master key? I can't skip it. Hold on. G. This is a little too stupid for me. On. Why is that off by default? Hello? Anyway. Isn't that right, Miss Bird?
Objection!
The only thing that changed from pressing information is that the key was stolen. But when you do the thing, when you go here, it says that it's not decisive. I guess I present it anyway, because it's the only thing that's even remotely. Okay, no. I don't get it. And this is the moment where you pull out a guide. Investigations. 1 guide. Oh, my favorite guide website doesn't have an investigations playthrough. It's over. I consent, sure. I don't fucking know. So, oh my fucking god, this is. Oh, the way this is written is hurting my brain. Okay. This pre-obvious at the first second hero removes the master key. Her intent, and the master controls. Secret safe. Why? Huh? I'm so confused. So, according to this, the secret safe. Oh, because she couldn't have known about the secret safe because she's not a prosecutor.
Objection!
Why didn't that logic work on Gumshoe though? You wish to continue insisting that Miss Bird was the one stealing something? Why not? It's the truth after all. It was also by your logic that we came to the whole thievery conclusion anyway. That may be, but you must also be aware of the fact that the safe is a secret safe. The existence of which only privy to prosecutors. Oh! I found it a little hard to believe that the hidden safe was part of a cunning plan. But she could have found it by accident while she was tuning everything else upside down. I highly doubt that. I'd say the culprit knew exactly what they were looking for. After all, only the bookshelf at the safe tapped it.
Yeah, even I didn't know about that safe, pal. That means there's no way Maggie could have known about it either.
But then you are proposing that the killer is a prosecutor? Interesting conclusion. It's definitely looking more and more probable. What's wrong, prosecutor? You have a different suspect in mind now. I... Curses, why? What made you?
What's with that angry face all of a sudden?
It's all my fault. What do you mean? It's Jim. He knew about the existence of the secret safes. What did you just say? We were partners, like inseparable conjoined twins. That's why I told him. I filled him in on the secret safes.
That means...
Yeah, I know. I only had told him to. Obviously, it was wrong of me to tell him. I still can't quite believe it, but the thief who broke into the room was probably Jim. No, he's claiming the victim was the thief. And you were simply trying to stop him, weren't you, Miss Maggie Bird?
Excuse me?
I mean, you are a security guard after all, that's your job. But killing is going a bit too far, even in your risky profession.
What the? You're still accusing Maggie of murder?
Yes and no. I mean, you had stumbled upon Jim, who had probably drawn his gun. I get it. It was self-defense, wasn't it?
No, I couldn't. I could never do something like that. Not even as a security guard, sir.
Plus, even if the thief would, he wouldn't have had a key to his office.
Which is precisely why you had to steal it, wouldn't you say? It was Jim who stole the master key.
Ah!
Pretty impossible for a supposedly stolen key to be here with us. Unless you retrieved it from Jim after you killed him. Mr. Portsman, you're honestly accusing your own partner of being a thief. I don't want to admit it, but it's the only way for everything else to make sense. Has he no honor? Now then, I think we're done here. The investigation waits for no man. Would you people be so kind as to see yourselves out?
You can't kick us out. This is Mr. Edgeworth's office.
Ah, but I'm the one who's been assigned to this case. You are all suspects to varying degrees and therefore ineligible to run this show.
Listen, pal, how many times I gotta say this? Maggie can't beat a cold trip.
Detective Gumshoe, calm yourself.
But, sir...
You have no choice but to accommodate his request, for now. Oh, thank you, Miss Edgeworth. At least one of you understands. Now then, could you remove yourselves from the crime scene? I'd be most grateful. Mark my words, Mr. Portsman. We will meet again. If that's a formal request from the legendary prosecutor himself, then I suppose so. Now, don't disappoint me, you're here. Right now. My throat. March 14th, 4:18 a.m. Prosecutor's building, 12th floor, hallway.
Why is this prosecutor? I can't believe how rude he was. It was unbelievable.
Please maintain a professionalism, detective.
I'm gonna find some real solid evidence proving Maggie's innocent. You'll see, sir.
But we've been kicked out of the crime scene, sir.
True.
So then what now?
It looks like life's fallen into yet another gigantic ditch.
Do not despair, Miss Bird. We can overcome this as well. There are many other places and things we should be looking into anyway.
Eh? Really, sir?
For example, this hallway. The linchpin of this argument against Miss Bird is related to the master key. In that case, this hallway is a perfect place to look for more information regarding the mystery surrounding my door. Well, basketball. What is this basketball doing here?
That's Mr. Portsman's position, sir. I heard he also plays soccer, dodgeball, and even tennis.
And not a single one of those sports is suitable to be played in a hallway. Hello, Winston Penn.
It looks like you're in quite of a pinch, Mr. Edgeworth.
To be sure, a murder within the walls of a prosecutor's office is no trifling matter. We must find, apprehend, and punish the killer accordingly, post-haste.
Sounds like a messy case you've got yourselves in your hands. If you ever feel lost or need some advice, the door is always open.
Oh, gracious, I will keep your offer in mind. Who is this guy again? Is everything alright?
Yes, sir. You must know I went myself this morning and I finally won 5 full pounds.
Congratulations, but I was asking about this hallway and this room.
Oh, everything's okay, sir.
Word of advice, stay focused or you may start to lose even more weight. Time for a break. Okay, hold on. YouTube just told me to take a break. No. This office.
103, 103. Hey Maggie, whose room is this again?
It's Mr. Postman's, sir.
So this is my new neighbor. I see. I suppose he moved in while I was away overseas. I guess I can't go that way. I won't rest until I've expected. Jesus. Okay, I forgot that he says that a lot. It's...
Ah, it's a Mrs. Zero file, sir.
No doubt about it. The bloody letters mark it clear as day. There seem to be a few pages missing. Our thief only took what was necessary and left the rest behind.
So what are these Zero files about, sir? I guess they've got something worth stealing in them, sir?
Not particularly. It's just a collection of court cases. However, the cases within these files are not mine.
Huh?
They belong to the high prosecutor that used to occupy my current office. I have many reasons, but let's just say I was charged with keeping them as they were.
Then that means the brief must have wanted a file for a specific reason, right?
It would seem so. Only the pages related to that case from 10 years ago are missing.
I wonder why anyone would care for such an old case.
A well-crafted, high-quality solver for visitors. The stitches is excellent.
Talk about a luxury waiting area. These babies are gonna be great fun happening, you know?
You would sleep even out here, detective, in a hallway.
Whatever I do, I always wind up dreaming about giving testimony on the stand. But it always ends the same way, me getting trounced by a lawyer. Isn't that awful?
Maybe I should give it a try sometime. To envision myself winning, naturally. Wait, hold on. This doesn't seem like it's done. Hold on. I can inspect the floor. I bet the thief's not under here.
I guess there isn't enough space for anyone to hide under here anyway. I mean, if someone would have come taught themselves to fit, I'd be really impressed.
Sounds to me like someone's already tried it at least once before. Okay, anything else? I doubt it, but there is in fact not. That is the wrong button. I'm guessing I'm supposed to talk to you. I was wondering if I may speak for you for a bit concerning this case.
I've always been a big fan of courtroom, but this is like a dream. A dream where I'm being cross-examined by D. Miles Edgeworth.
Can't let this chance pass me by. Must remember to ask her about the master key. Should jog her memory by showing her notes. Jog her memory by master key. That's the wrong button. T. So, when did you discover that the master key was missing?
By the time I realized it said it was around 1 a.m., sir. And I noticed it was back at around 2:30 a.m. I was just sitting there on the ledge of the security room's reception window as... I'm sure that the night between those two times was not just gone, but stolen, sir.
Why is it such an important key stored in such an insecure place?
It's not like that, sir. We always keep the key further inside the room, away from the window.
Always, you say? Except for this time, correct?
Well, I admit I was a bit careless, but I had my reasons. I left it out because I was sort of using it at the time. I was afraid I had used it... I had used it that I left it sitting on the ledge.
She used the master key. Curious. Have you ever met the victim before?
Well, I've seen her a couple of times before when I had to go into Mr. Portman's office. Mr. Faith has always been playing basketball with Mr. Portsman, sir.
That sounds like fun. Just once I'd love to play with him.
It sounds fun, but the only person ever taking a shot was Mr. Portsman. All Mr. Faith did ever was pass him the ball, sir.
1 second, Ford. I don't think I'd fit in at all with them.
Why doesn't it use the arrow keys? I hate this. I hate this. What did you mean by you used the master key?
Oh, I had to use it to open the door for this prosecutor who had forgotten his key. I mean, it's my job as a security guard, right? Ah!
What is it?
That's right. I've just remembered. The prosecutor who forgot his key it was Mr. Portsman, sir!
What? Please tell me more, Miss Bird. Quickly.
was around 12 a.m. Mr. Portsmouth had forgotten his office key and he came down for security, sir.
And that's when you loaned the master key to him.
No, wait! It's against the regulations to loan a master key to anyone. I walked Mr. Portsmouth to his office and opened the door for him personally, sir.
I see.
And then, what happened after that?
But he called me to come close to his office as he was leaving to go home. That was around 1:30 a.m., I think.
So in summary, for the sake of one forgetful prosecutor, use the master key twice tonight.
Talk about it suspicious.
I don't doubt you can say that you've never left your keys at home, detective. I think this calls for a thorough examination of Mr. Portsmouth's door. Miss Maggie Bird, correct? I take it you are an acquaintance of the detective?
She was under my supervision back when she was still in the force set. One day she got caught up in a murder and things started going downhill, so she quit.
But I owe a lot to Detective Gumshoe for introducing me to my current employer. Yeah, so I thought until a few hours ago. Right, when I was about to clock out for the night.
You got caught up in this whirlwind of a case, correct?
Don't worry, my whole life's been nothing but a whirlwind of bad luck and failures. Since I was 6 months old and I fell into the 9th floor of an apartment building. I've been hit by all sorts of vehicles, gotten sick from all sorts of foods, failed at almost every test I've taken, experienced almost every kind of disaster. And now I even managed to be named criminal just because I've become a security guard.
It's a lot to go through in one lifetime.
And no, it's just that I thought I finally found my happiness. I wound up getting into you and Mr. Detective Gumshoe involved in my bad luck.
You don't need to worry about me, Miss Bird, nor do you need to worry about yourself. I will solve this case and prove your innocence. All I ask in return is your cooperation.
Yes, sir, Mr. Edgeworth. You can count on me. I'll do all I help.
I won't rest a fucking... stop saying that line. Room 1203. I take it is Mr. Portsmouth's office.
Yeah, you can't mistake it because of that basketball hoop, sir. Oh, that reminds me. Mr. Portsmouth actually had wanted room 212 really badly. But since you were already occupying it, Mr. Edgeworth was put it next door, sir.
So, why was Mr. Portsmouth so particular about getting room 1202?
I'm not sure. I bet it's because of something like his birthday being December 2nd.
Yep, that's gotta be it. I can't think of another reason why.
I can think of at least 3, but why am I even wasting my time about this? A minimalist, lit, classy door made of top quality wood.
It's kind of majestic too. Fits real well with the ambience of the prosecutor's offices. Even Mr. Portsmouth seems dignified just because he works behind these.
Nonsense. A man doesn't become more or less dignified because of where he works.
Well, seems he's more dignified than Mr. Payne.
Mr. Payne, suppose custodial work can also be dignified. The door is locked tight.
I bet old credit card trigger wouldn't work here, huh, Miss Edgeworth?
This is the office of a high prosecutor, detective. These doors would be pretty ineffective if the average cat burglar could get through them.
Aha! So it's only a great cat burglar who can get in it. That must be why your ultimate.
Might I advise you to return to that conclusion to whatever pawn shop you bought it from?
So this is Mr. Portsmouth's personal basket hoop.
Can't believe he put something like this in a hallway of a prosecutor's office.
But, you know, it's actually pretty useful, sir. I haven't got lost trying to get in your office since it's been here.
How long have I had the same office and yet you still managed to get lost? What the fuck else is here? Doesn't seem to be anything. Okay, I'm just gonna go now. Question mark? Yeah, I got this, I guess. What is a basketball hoop doing here?
Hey, didn't it used to be just outside by the building a long time ago?
So when and why was it moved indoors?
I don't remember exactly, but I saw one of the officers drag it up here recently.
Drag it?
I heard he wouldn't fit in the elevator, so the poor guy had to bring it himself.
All the way up to the 12th floor. Okay, I'm through with this, I'm through with this, I'm through with this, I'm through with her, and I'm through with that. Is there anything I can do to this door? Yes, there is. Okay, this is the same thing. 1202. These 4 numbers on the number plate alone proclaim this to be my office.
Whoops! Hey, the number plate slide right out, sir.
They have to be able to take the plate off when a room becomes vacant, you know? Although the idea that it can be very easily removed is kind of interesting. I don't see any signs of a forced entry. And according to the guard, no signs of the lock was picked either. Meaning that the door really was opened with a key. Did you happen to ask any prints who lifted from the doorknob?
Apparently the doorknob's clean as a whistle. White, they think.
Whoever this thief was, they did a good job of not leaving any clues behind. So it's logic then. But, okay, they used the master key and the master key was stolen. Well, the key was used to unlock the door. This seems to be the most obvious connection that there could possibly be. Miss Bird, I'm afraid there's a flaw in your story.
Wait, no wait, sir.
You say that you locked up Mr. Postman's office at around 1:30 a.m., correct? However, the master key had already been stolen that time.
Well, nothing is by you, Mr. Edgeworth. You see contradictions like a pro. I totally forgotten about all that, but thanks to you, I remember now. You're right. It was around that very time that I realized the master key was missing.
And?
Well, I'm in security yard, sir. I couldn't just admit to losing my master key, could I? So I pretended to lock up his room, sir.
You pretended?
Yeah, I used my house key and made it look like it was looking it up, sir.
So in actuality, you never did really lock the door then?
Well, I thought of it. Maybe I could lock it after they found the key. Come to think of it, I guess this door still hasn't been locked properly.
Bruh. What do you mean deduce? Just open the door. It's not... oh, hold on. That's not the door itself. Let me go back. Let me deduce it real quick. The doorknob. It's not locked. Is this spot somehow connected? Unlock the door, and it did not lock up. Prison. The contradiction here between reality and the evidence. If what Miss Bird has said is true, then why is this door locked tight?
Huh? You know, you're right.
Miss Bird, are you sure you didn't relock this door?
I'm certain of it, sir. And I didn't think Mr. Postman noticed it himself that I hadn't.
Which means, what, sir?
It either means that he actually does have a key of his office, or that the door Miss Bird opened wasn't this one at all, but a completely different one.
She opened a different door? But how can they prove that?
There's an easy way to find out. All we need to do is to examine these. Prints on the master key, prints on the doorknob, prints on the number plate. Oh yeah, the prints on the number plate. Because they switched it. The prints on the number plate. They will tell us exactly what we need to know.
Everything? Really? Like what, sir?
Like, well, for example, and such.
Which what? Ha!
Ha! Okay, not the number plate. Prints on the master key. Well, yeah, but they would have probably wiped that away. They wiped away the doorknob.
They wiped away the doorknob too. What do you mean? They wiped away the doorknob too.
The prints on the doorknob will tell us everything.
Hey, you, pal. Do us a favor and see what you can live from this, okay? So, what did you find out?
There's no need for such a belligerent nostril flaring, detective.
Sir, I found only Mr. Prosecutor Postman's and Mr. Faith prints on his doorknob.
So only 2 people's prints were found on this, huh? It's pretty decisive.
I must, sir.
Thinking logically, a certain other person's print should be on the doorknob as well. I guess that's true as well. You should have your fingerprints on it as well. I pressed the wrong button.
Take that!
Don't you find it odd that the prints of the person who unlocked this door are absent?
You mean?
Yes, the door that Miss Bird opened could not have been this one, but a different one. Whatever here. I want to rest until... Shut the fuck up, Edgeworth. No, fuck you. There, take that.
Let's see. Oh, there's something written on it.
Looks like a note from the victim.
I put the 3 pieces of evidence by. Just like we talked about on the phone. Look at that, you're out. Guess I'll catch up to you later. Yeah, and it's for Mr. Postman.
Do I really have to look at the goddamn basketball? This is a basketball property of Mr. Portsman.
Yes, sir. It's always ready for a match.
Basketball, soccer, dodgeball, tennis. Doesn't matter what sport it is, he's game. Although I think it'd be a little hard to play tennis with this ball.
That isn't the point you should be focusing on, Detective.
You're right, sir. Now I know what I should be focusing on. But, Mr. Portman, someone should teach this man to clean his toys up after he's done playing.
I think we've reached the end of this conversation. I missed something. What the fuck did I... Oh. Okay, it was moved. Oh, I know why it was moved. Fair enough, actually. What's this?
What are you looking at, sir? Oh, wait. How about the gate?
That's okay, Detective. I just found the position of this hoop to be a little off.
Hey, you're right, sir. I guess it shifted when someone made a seriously sweet slam dunk.
The positioning of the hoop is definitely unnatural. I better take a note of this. Walking around in this hallway has actually paid off quite handsomely.
Huh? How so, sir?
In a variety of different ways. I think it's time we had a little chat with the real culprit of this case.
You know who the killer is, Mr. Edgeworth?
As long as my logic is sound, then yes. The mastermind behind this murder is none other than Mr. Portsman.
What? Mr. Portsman?
I knew it. That's exactly what my logic said was telling me too. I suspected it was him from the instant he accused Maggie of being the killer, sir.
That is anything but logical. Lady and gentlemen, prepare yourself. Come what may, it's time to knock on truth's door. March 14th, 5:12 a.m. High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202.
Mr. Portman, I finished the process in the body's letter, sir.
Alright, let me take a gander at it. Pass it here. Oh, looking good. You dare take good care of this.
Ah!
Well, if it isn't Detective Gumshoe.
And a line for you, Mr. Portman. We've got you now.
Call of your dark, Mr. Edgeworth. Is there some kind of joke? It's no joke. We know, Mr. J.K. Portsman, that... We know, Mr. J.K. Portsman, that you are the guilty party of this case. You must be pretty upset getting chased off your own room. I'd be mad too. So I guess you can stay if you promise to stay out of your way. You intend to hide the crime under a guise of prosecutor doing his job. I can see right through your unsightly, paper-thin mask you wear upon your cowl. Who'd ever thought who would come to this? Actually, come to think of it, your mentor was Manfred von Karma, right? The legendary prosecutor who never lost a single case for 40 long years. But there always is incessant chatter about forged evidence with that guy. Really teaches me that I've got to stay on the lookout for false accusations, you know. Are you done trying to play mind games with me? Because they won't work. The only thing you should be using that mouth of yours for is explaining yourself. Although, that too will only dig your hole deeper. Either way, your game is up. Well, aren't you full of yourself? Even though we have yet to prove anything. Mr. Portsman's rebuttal. I have no idea what sort of harebrained idea you have in mind, but there's a mountain of evidence that points away from me being the culprit. Besides, how may I ask you to do that I propose I unlocked your door and got in here? Look, I feel bad for doing this to you, but I've got work to do, so you're done here. Sorry, but we're not finished yet. Boy, you're stubborn. I suppose you're basing your accusation on something? I'll show him what I'm basing my accusation on. With the evidence. Mr. Portsman's rebuttal. Shut the fuck up. Anyways, besides, how may I ask you propose I unlock the door? Well, for you see, Maggie Bird did it for you, you cunt. But the prints on the door were not found on the doorknob. This, right here. This one. I don't know if this is actually the thing I'm supposed to show, but it appears to be so. Because she unlocked the door, but it was the different door. I'm actually gonna take a safer. You know, sometimes you gotta take a little bit of a save before you do something smart, because the game isn't. Present. And that would be this door.
Objection!
It's a different door. It's a different door!
Hold it!
Unfortunately, I believe I've already shown how earlier. Your speculations mean nothing, as I insisted I could not gain access to your room. What should I do now? Should I raise an objection? You claim to have no idea on the way to open my room. However, there's really the honest truth. Ha ha! Alright, I'll humor you. Go ahead, shoot! Very well then. I propose that you use this to open my door. The fucking key. I want to show her. You used her to open my room. You used this. But like her. What? How do I show this to you? The door? You used your door.
Take that!
And how do you propose I use this object? I guess I'm supposed to show the master key.
Hold it!
This remake looks really weird. It is. The chibi art style is very weird. Nevertheless, is this what I'm supposed to show? Yes. Sorry, you knew exactly what I meant, but you didn't show it like I wanted you to show it, says the game. I believe you were able to open my office door with the master key, no less. Wait, hold on for a sec. I never laid a finger on that key, as you already know. Precisely, you were able to open my door without lifting a single finger. Well, maybe you did, but only to direct. That's right, you used your fingers to direct this person to open the door with the key.
Take that!
What is this place? It is the, it's Miles Edgeworth's office. You had asked Miss Burr to open your own office door for you, yes? Yeah, I kind of forgot my key at home. Happens a bit too often for my taste, you know. But the room you had Miss Burr open at the time was not your own room, was it?
What?
You have quite the imagination. But why don't we ask the girl herself whose door she opened, shall we?
I'm certain that it was Miss Portsman's door, sir. I checked the number plate to make sure it was open right now, sir.
See, Miss Bird backs up my story. Yet, what if we had misled her to fool her into thinking it was what you wanted? Ha! And how do you suppose I did that? By switching number plates on your door, for example.
That's right, they do slide out pretty easily.
Furthermore, Dan used one other thing, very strong impression. The door she opened was yours, and not in fact mine. Or does it, Mr. Portsman? It was the hula hoop, that one, the basketball hoop.
Take that!
What? The basketball hoop, sir?
It's quite the peculiar fixture in any hallway, let alone a hallway in this building. Which is why it left an unusually strong impression on you. It's an object perfectly suited to sit just outside the office of a peculiar prosecutor.
Whoa! It's very true, sir. Because if that was a basketball hoop sitting there, I thought the door was opening. It had to be most important.
There are signs that the hoop has been moved. To sit in front of the office, to be sure. I see. So that's how you throw suspicion on people. Thanks for the tip. But I think your conjecture is a little off the racetrack. Conjectures rebuttal. Now you're just spouting nonsense. I had the girl open my office door. After that, I was in my room the entire time. You don't have a single reason to suspect me. So he intends to claim his innocence by the end, does he? I am pure and innocent as my jacket. And Miss Bird is indirectly guilty as the jacket she wears.
My jacket's not dirty. I just washed it yesterday.
Please calm down, for I intend to show who is the one truly covering in slime here. Conjecture's rebuttal. I had to go open my office door. After that, I was in my room for the entire time. That's wrong, because she locked it. She must have. Where's the locked button? Where's the fact that she locked it? I guess it should be here, but it doesn't tell me. It doesn't tell me that she locked it again. But she locked it anyway. I guess I pressed this then. And what were you doing in your office? I was doing my usual training regimen. Training regimen? You going through your law book by start to finish? Mainly batting practice and some weights. Oh, and I jog when I get the chance.
Well, you must be the toughest prosecutor we have.
The weakest legal muscle, it would seem. I was doing my usual workouts, though. What do you want me to present, game? You failed to show me the actual thing. It's Miss Burgess. She unlocked the door, but her prints were not found on the doorknob. She also said she locked it, but it doesn't say it anywhere. Fucking love this game. Hey, present?
Objection!
No! He must have left, cause he fucking... She locked the door for you! Damn, I'm killing myself. She locked the door for you. Does it say it here? You can open every door. It was stolen from the security office. Found under the absent, brought 3 pieces of evidence just like we talked about on the phone. Looks like you're out. Guess I'll catch up to you later. That did not do anything. What do you want me to show, game? I guess just... God, I love this game! Let's go ahead and pull up the guide here. Present... Present the door to the second statement. This is the third statement. Killing myself. This just isn't okay. Yep. Cool. Love that. So this is where we present the door.
Objection!
I had your door dusted for prints. My door? What for? Come on, I bet you didn't find anything. Are you sure you're all good at wasting time? You're right. I didn't find anything, and definitely not Miss Bird's fingerprints. Her prints? What do they have to do with anything? Let's put it this way. If she really was the one who opened your door, then her prints should naturally be on your doorknob she touched. Gara! Further, all of the prints on my office doorknob have been wiped clean off. I can only assume it's because Miss Bird's fingerprints were on it.
Objection!
But it doesn't change the fact that I was in the room the entire time. If that really is a fact, or is it fiction? Hey, I wouldn't lie to you. I have here proof that you were not in your room the entire time as you claim. I guess this. So true.
Take that!
This is a note that the victim left for you, Mr. Porter. A note! It was left on your door, or did you not notice? It's right here, it says, but you're out. You were not in your room when the victim came to call on you. So then, where were you and what were you doing? Gah! Don't you think it's time you gave up on your charade? We know you stole into my office with the intent of stealing something from me. And Detective Faye found you out. Possibly because you heard sounds coming from the room whose occupant was on leave. Mr. Portsmouth, you killed Mr. Faye to silence him. And I had the misfortune to return when I did. You had to threaten me as an escape. As I said, you had the gun on my back. No one gets away with committing murder in my office.
Here's my cell phone, pal.
Well, that looks of stiff seriousness on the face of this office's finest prosecutor, as he makes a huge mistake in accusing me is simply too much to bear. There's nothing else I'd like in the world. What?
Mr. Edgeworth, just to clear it all. You're a murderer. Stop trying to slippery and you admit your crime already.
As I said earlier, it's all so circumstantial, so full of conjecture. You say you checked my doorknob for prints. Well, I can readily confess that I had wiped the knob down well.
Eh?
I'm a little obsessive compulsive, you see. I didn't want to touch the doorknob that you had touched, which is why I wiped the doorknob as soon as I could after you opened the door. After that, it makes perfect sense that only Jim's hand and my own prints would be on there.
You made that just now, didn't you?
Furthermore, as for my note Jim left for me, do you know exactly what that was? For all we know, he could have left it there before I arrived at the office. Like early evening, for example. Are you saying you failed to notice a note in your doorway? Even geniuses fail at times. I was probably too preoccupied by work-related matters, although that's no excuse.
But that's just a flat-out lie. There's no way you didn't notice that note that size.
Ah, but you can't prove that now, can you?
Say something, Mr. Edgeworth. Back me up here, sir.
Horseman makes a good point. Can't prove that he didn't simply overlook it. Besides, I have an airtight alibi. Or airtight, you say? I only just realized I had one as we're talking. I guess it would have been better for all of us if I had told you sooner. Portsman's alibi. If memory serves, you came back to this office at around 2 a.m., correct? And it was then you had an unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit. But at exactly that time, I was out in criminal affairs. Ask around, I'm sure one of the other detectives will corroborate my story. It's the perfect alibi. You really think it's that perfect? Like I said, I don't care. Ask around all you like. You'll see for yourself. Detective Gumshoe.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll go check in his alibi, sir. Be right back. Mr. Edgeworth, sir. I think we're in trouble, just like Mr. Portman said. The guys down at Criminal Affairs said they saw him around 2 a.m.
You see? All the evidence points to him being the culprit. There must be a contradictory point in his alibi somewhere. Okay. So. One shot fired. It was a different person. There were two people. The first one shot and killed the detective. That was Portsman. And the second person shot Portsman revolver because they didn't have a gun themselves. Easy. Yeah. How do I tell him that? And it was then that you had your unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit. That's incorrect. It wasn't the culprit, it was someone else. But at that exact time I was down in criminal affairs. Ask around. That's true. The two statements there are true.
Hold it!
It is as you say, however. Yes, however, you're the only one who claims to have bumped into the culprit. So tell me, did you see the person's face? Was it me who you saw? It was pitch black, so I couldn't actually see.
Objection!
Oh, come now. I'm sure you saw something. Try a little harder, why don't you? I'm beginning to feel like I am the one being interrogated here. Oh, well, doesn't matter if you remember or not. It only matters that you ran into the culprit.
Hold it!
You're correct. It was around 2 a.m. Are you sure? It's really important to me that you're spot on with the time. I remember checking my watch then to make sure that make no mistake. It was 2. Oh, giving testimony like a pro. Okay, so you came back to the office at 2. So this has got to be the point where the evidence is. So, I have to have encountered the culprit at 2 a.m. How do I know it wasn't the case? The safe... No. Because only one shot was fired. I guess it must be the victim's revolver.
Objection!
It wasn't the victim's revolver. Oh. I love it when games do this. I gotta press every statement.
Hold it!
So you paid the Criminal Affairs Department to visit? Yep, right after I left the prosecutor's building, I headed straight for the precinct.
The fucking god!
Hold it!
Well, do we go and ask around to confirm your testimony? Oh, it's just as I said, right?
Yes, sir. A number of detectives said they saw you at around that time.
See, I have the perfect alibi. Now, the ace I had up my sleeve.
Impossible, he actually does have the perfect alibi.
What's wrong? Why the sudden sullen look on your face?
Can you say anything back, Mr. Edgeworth?
I think we've reached the end of that line, and it's time to get off that crazy train. You there!
Sir!
Please escort the young lady out, but remember, be gentle.
Maggie!
Detective Gumshoe!
Is there nothing I can do? There must be a way to turn the situation around. If only I had a clue. Did I miss something that can help me doubt his alibi? You need to calmly think this through one more time with logic. So, alibi, the intruder could not have been Miss Portman, then who could it have been? Another handgun? Connect. There were 2 bullets left at the scene of the crime. One that robbed Mr. Favors' life. And one that nearly robbed me of my jacket. However, the murder weapon only shows signs of being fired once, meaning that it is entirely possible that the second gun was used in my office tonight. But seeing as how the killer had to steal Mr. Faith's gun, I doubt the killer had another gun up their sleeve. Therefore, the second gun could have been the property of an entirely different person, which could mean that there was another person who paid a visit to my office tonight. Files in disarray, another visitor. Supposing there was yet another visitor tonight. That would also resolve the issue of why my shelves were uploaded twice. We know that the shelves were disturbed once before and once after the murder, so it shouldn't be much of a stretch to think that it was the work of 2 different people. Once by the person who stole the victim's gun and then killed him with it. And once again, after the murder, by our second culprit. Who was the owner of the second gun? If we suppose that the second culprit's gun was the one pointed blank at my face, at my back.
Objection!
Mr. Portman, Portman, it seems that I need to amend my assumption regarding the case. Great, so you finally come to your senses.
Mr. Edgeworth!
Sir, what are you saying?
This has been a big misunderstanding on my part from the start. I had assumed that the person that I ran into was the killer, but that may not have been the case. What do you mean? The person I ran into was just your average thief.
A thief? Sir, isn't that sort of a contradiction in the facts?
Not at all. It simply means that the killer was someone else. And it means that in actuality, 2 culprits stole into my office tonight.
What do you mean 2?
Which explains both why my shelves were disturbed twice and how I ended up with 2 guns. Mr. Portman tricked Miss Bird and gained entry into my office. No, you're just leading the argument. You still don't have any actual proof, you know. If you could please go along with my hypothetical scenario for now, Mr. Portsman. In the end, you really are innocent. You should have nothing to worry about. Oh. Now then, returning to my scenario, Mr. Portsman was out to steal something from me. Which is why he checked my secret safe and ransacked the shelves. This is my first time.
So then, this would be the first time the files would be back in the wrong order, right?
Correct. And then just when it was about to look someone else. Who shouldn't walk in, but his own partner, Mr. Faith.
But why did Mr. Face come to your room, sir?
He probably had business with Mr. Portsman, which is why he was in the area. And that's when he noticed sounds coming from the office. That would be my guess.
Oh, because you weren't supposed to be away, right?
And you must have thought it was I. Came into this office to check it out.
Correct. As a detective, that was right thing to do.
But when he came in, he found his own partner standing there.
Because it was Mr. Portsman, Mr. Faith probably let his guard down. But Mr. Portman was not so merciful as to let him leave alive. He waited for a chance and stole Mr. Faith's gun from him, and then he killed him. He silenced Mr. Faith for catching him in the act of stealing. This was the moment to which the first shot was fired and the one that landed in my files. Following that, Mr. Portman wiped the gun down and left it behind as he made the exit. He could afford to do that because he had also left a fake dying message behind.
Such a complicated troublemaker, you know that?
Well, if things were as simple as that, that would be solved. However, there's yet another visitor in my room, and this is where it gets complicated. There was another.
Visitor, sir?
Yes, and the one person's objective was also to steal something from me. Now then, even after Mr. Portsman left, the door to my office remained unlocked. However, this new visitor had no way of knowing that, and so he stole the master key from the security guard's out room, and then entered my room and searched through my shelves. This is the second time they were disturbed, and it seems the thief found their prize. Well, it's a good thing that Maggie didn't notice the blood in the room as she was locking the door. You know, that's real convenient. Anyway,
you stolen zero file, right, sir?
Correct. The only one the thief was about to leave with the file, I appeared. The thief had threatened me with their own gun and made their escape. The second bullet was fired during that brief encounter.
So the shells get messed up twice into 2 bullets? It was all because of 2 different people were doing those things at 2 different times.
Precisely. Now do you see, Mr. Portsman? The person I met was just a thief and was not in fact Mr. Faith's killer. Your alibi for the time and frame in which I ran onto the other person is now irrelevant. Because we now know that the murder took place during the first corporate's visit.
Objection!
What's so funny, pal?
Absolutely splendid. Your scenario explains everything.
Of course it does. Mr. Edgeworth is off the hole.
But you know, it still doesn't change the fact that it's all circumstantial. Supposing if, and that's a big if your theory is right, it would indeed render my alibi, which was withstood scrutiny, mind you, irrelevant. But there's still one defining point of your argument, for which you have no evidence. Your superstition that I was the first visitor.
Mr. Edgeworth, you can't let him get away with that, sir.
But he has a point. I have absolutely no proof at this point.
Don't say that, sir.
I don't believe this. Don't worry, Maggie, I'll do something if I must.
You know something? I find your attitude to be somewhat peculiar, Mr. Edgeworth. If the person you met really was just a plain old thief, then why is that person not your main suspect? That is, if your theory is correct. Portsman's alibi part 2. That thief you ran into should be a real suspect, wouldn't you say? We should be out here looking for the thief right now. You might still be nearby. I hate to repeat myself, but as I've already said, I was training in my room. And when Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down at criminal affairs. So I can't be expected to know what happened around here after I left. So you think you should be out here looking for the thief? Of course! Now isn't that the time to be having these dead-end discussions? I don't think it's all dead-ended. I find your alibi to be fascinating. Let's continue where we left off, shall we? I know he's lying. I know he was there at the scene of the crime. Just have to find a way to prove it. When Jim came to Lewis and Milton I was done in criminal affairs. That's a new piece of information. Why didn't you go there with Mr. Faith? Ah, that's because he said they was tired and was going to take a quick nap. You know those sofas in the hallway? He likes to sleep on those. It's one of his habits. And what of the evidence he brought? They were things related to yesterday's case. Just 2 items. I can't independent. That's just wrong. Yeah, that's wrong. He said 3.
Objection!
Only 2 pieces. I believe the proper phrase here is you fail. Excuse me, also. What I did realize is that the audio mixing is a little too silent. Let me turn that up real quick for the viewers at home. And for me, because I like the music. It's probably the best part about this game. You fail as a prosecutor, Mr. Portman, as in you tend to keep evidence hidden from me. What are you talking about? I haven't hidden anything from you. Well, here's a piece I think you should read carefully.
It says Mr. Fink was bringing 3 pieces.
Yes, and I think the victim's real dying message to you, Mr. I can't believe he took me tricked up by such simple arithmetic. Where is the missing piece of evidence? It's... You have it, don't you? Only a guilty would make such a face. Detective Gumshoe.
You don't have to say it, sir. I'll pat the game down from head to toe.
Boy, don't come any closer. I am warning you.
This is all part of the investigation, pal. Don't even think about stopping me.
No!
Hey, what's this? Yeah, this on him, sir.
Despite what you said, it would appear that you do have something to hide.
But why did you hide something like that?
There's only one reason why anyone would hide evidence from this caliber. Because it would be unequivocally pointed to the person himself being as the real killer. Let's examine the videotape in a little more detail. For the section of the tape that will drive the last nail in this coffin. The KB8 incident. The KB8 incident.
That's the police case number, sir. Does that mean the video is evidence from the case?
Interesting. Although what's recorded on this isn't what's important right now. Let's give the casing a thorough through-over.
Oh! That's blood, isn't it?
Yes, I believe this is what a good prosecutor was trying to hide from us. This blood is still fresh.
You mean this might be Detective Face Black?
No, you've got it all wrong! No amount of denial can save you. We have but to run a blood test to find out the truth. You told us that you had received evidence from the victim earlier. Now that you will tell us when and how did the victim's blood find its way onto this video.
Yeah, and it's totally suspicious.
What is the moment of his death? Did Detective Faith have the videotape on his personage when you killed him? You know very well there's no way to prove that. Not even if we have to examine the tape for fingerprints. If I had to take a guess, I'd say that the only ones here who belong to the murderers are you and Mr. Faith. No, impossible! I lie! March 14th, 5:47 a.m. High Prosecutor's Offices, Room 1202.
Mr. Bossman has been placed under arrest for the murder of Detective Buddy Faith, sir.
Very good.
And the results we got back from lab techs said the tape turned out to be a real solid set. The blood work came back and it's definitely Mr. Faith's blood on it. And as a bonus, they were able to lift a few from Mr. Faith's fingerprints as well.
Thank you very much, Mr. Edgeworth. Still can't believe I got to see your cool deduction skills inside the courtroom. I'm impressed beyond words, sir.
It was nothing. Just saw you get caught up in a murder in my office. Please accept my apologies.
It's nothing, really, compared to what I've been through. I mean, I consider myself lucky if it wasn't for the burglary and the murder this time set. If it had been a hold-up or a hostage situation, I'd be throwing my hands up in the air. I think I'm finally rising up to be a goddess of misfortune and just an unlucky person.
Something tells me we should have hired a different person for security detail. This is maybe a little bit too low. I think this is more.
You know something, sir? That Mr. Portsman really was an uncorrupt prosecutor.
And why would you say he was corrupt?
But I heard that he was a number of suspicious things relating to his court cases. There's even rumors about how some of the evidence he uses is forged, sir.
Forged evidence, huh?
They even say he decided not to prosecute a few cases for some really vague reasons.
The guy's a complete disgrace to the entire profession.
Never did get around to asking what his reason was for breaking into my office.
Yeah, whatever we got needed a copy, you just stamped up.
Although you can be pretty certain that it was to steal something.
This is just between you and me, sir, but there's a rumor of some sort of huge organization involved behind the scenes.
Oh, well, well. With Mr. Portsman not willing to divulge anything, it certainly lends to credence to that rumor. It seems that we haven't heard from the last time.
Eh? That Mr. Portsman isn't a bad guy?
I didn't say that, but rather there are still many more mysteries for us to solve. For example, we still haven't figured out the significance of this piece of evidence. This?
Take that!
The person who stole this file, the other villain of the night.
Yeah, I wonder who it was.
And what happened to the stolen pages? I wonder, who in the world was it that held me up at gunpoint?
Mr. Edgeworth, sir!
Yes?
I came across the right process in your office earlier, sir.
This cart.
What is it, sir? Is it a bird or something on there?
It's not just any bird. It's the mark of the raven, a three-legged raven. Even you should know what this is, detective.
Oh, it's about that thing, isn't it? That great thief everyone talking about?
Yes, it's the mark of the great thief Yatagarasu. Under the mark of a legendary bird, the Yatagarasu is noble to the end of a modern Robin Hood. Labeled mysterious and phantom-like, the Yatagarasu appears and vanishes at will. Though we don't know much about this thief's ultimate goal, we do know its targets. The Yatagarasu likes to find and make public evidence of corrupt dealings of all sorts. The theft is always performed in silence and always with perfection. Once the target is chosen, the dramatic calling card or announcement is sent forth. Instead, the chosen corporation is infiltrated without even the target noticing. Some days later, the evidence was found and sent out to the mass media. Along with the single card. Although it has been a while since the Yatagarasu last appeared.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, look, something's written on the back.
What? Let me see.
It's a location of where the thief put a stolen file.
So the person who stole the contents of the file was the Yatagarasu. Yatagarasu. Organization? Quite a few key words are popping up in this mystery. The murder in my office. The return of the great thief Yatagarasu. Looking back, I can't say I didn't see these events coming. For they were heralded by the incident that began to occur 2 days ago. Of the stream. I hope you enjoyed looking into the stream. We will be continuing. I don't know when, but we will certainly be continuing. I am not impressed by the first case. I'm going to be completely honest. It is as bad as I had first thought it to be. Maybe a little bit better. Now that I have, cleared it. Modernly. But we will be continuing this playthrough in another stream. I think we'll do one case per stream. It seems rather like a nice pacing. And the next case is going to be a quite interesting case, if I remember correctly. And we will see quite a few familiar faces and a big-breasted woman. So you can look forward to that. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Stream, I do apologize. And let's go for a little bit of a nice outro music as I explain how this thing is going to work. We can't, unfortunately, cue the clone as I have not set up the clone. But what we can do is quickly tab out of the game and quickly press the end stream button, because I don't have it set up where it actually does that automatically.